Okay, so we've been talking about the guidelines for practicing refuge, and we went over the ones for Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha yesterday. And then the next one is avoid being rough and arrogant, running after any desirable object you see, and criticizing anything that meets with your disapproval. Well, what do you think about that one? Yeah, that one easy? Is that something you want to train in? Yeah, I mean, just think for a minute, wouldn't it be, just imagine yourself, okay, not being rough and arrogant, you know, being very smooth and gentle, okay, restrained but not stiff, yeah, warm but not gushing, okay, so you're not rough and arrogant, okay, and not running after any desirable thing that happens to come into your sensory field, but just, you know, just imagine yourself that way, seeing different things and saying, that's nice, and, you know, but the mind not going, you know, I want it, yeah. And then imagine yourself also not criticizing anything that meets with your disapproval. You know, so people do this, they do that. They follow your instructions, they don't. They like you, they don't like you. You know, they agree with your ideas, they don't agree with your ideas. And your mind is able to remain even. Yeah? I find it very helpful in my practice to just imagine what it would be like being like this. You know, just think, okay, what would it feel like to have that kind of mind, and imagine being like that. And I find that that's very good, because if you can imagine being like that, then you can start becoming like that. Whereas if we just hear this and we think, oh, I'm arrogant and rough, I run after all the desirable things that I see, and I also criticize everything that meets with my disapproval. Therefore, how am I ever going to do this? If you think like that, then you're never going to get anywhere. And you're just always going to feel less than and inferior. But if you just think, you know, imagine yourself being like that, and even though, okay, we still have a lot of defilements, we're not going to be like that all the time, yeah, but if we can imagine being ourselves being like that, then we can start becoming like that, okay? So I think that's quite important to do, just to imagine. Huh? And I just think, wow, wouldn't that be cool? You know, all these things happen, and I don't get wigged out about it. Yeah? People say what they say, they do what they do. My mind just stays steady. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So, good. Let's think about that one, huh? Yeah?
Say one of the phrases I use for myself is to think as if. So
yeah, to think as if I were that way, right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. But we so much habitually say, oh, I'm the opposite. Forget it. This is, you know, I mean, we say this not in words, but in our attitude. You know, oh, I'm the opposite. I can't become like that. Yeah. Whereas, you know, if that were true, why does the Buddha bother to teach us? You know, if we couldn't become like that, the Buddha wouldn't have taught the path. So when we listen to the Buddha's teachings and then we think, oh, that's impossible, I can't be like that, it's as if we're thinking the Buddha's lying. Now think about that karma for a minute, you know? Yeah. And just think about all the Buddha's effort. Surely he wouldn't have gone through all that effort to teach if the whole thing were impossible.